So Calvin, today was a very important day for many clubs around the world, as yesterday was the final bit of the Champions League playoffs, and now we have the groups.
Yes, sir. And I know one team that's not going to be there, Liverpool. But all trolling aside, they're going to be in the Europa League. Let's go. Nah, all jokes aside, though, yeah, it is super important. I mean, think about all the teams that are going to be in here. Big clubs, smaller clubs, some teams, trying to make some history, trying to shock some giants, so to speak. And I'm really excited to get it started.
All right, well, we are just going to go through here group by group and talk about the teams and what we think everyone can do, and we're probably going to be very wrong about this on many occasions.
But we're new, so it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
It's not.
I'm not that worried about it. And obviously, there's teams on here we've never even heard of before.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I'm like, who? But they didn't drop when the teams are gonna play yet, right?
No, I think it's pretty much set in stone on when the teams play. I think the first round is the 18th. Or but
Of this
you mean
month?
the matches? I don't think so. I don't
The
think we
actual
know
the matches, match date, who's going to
Yeah, I
who
don't
first?
think we know any of that yet. So I think I think right now we're just on that. But let's start off here with Group A. This group, of course, led by a couple of giants with Bayern, Man United, and then FC Copenhagen. And do you know how to say it?
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray, Turkish champions. In this group, another very cool team. But I mean, let's just go through, talk about each team through and through, and that of course starts with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I mean I think they are the second odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. So clearly they are contenders. They have Jamal Musiala. They got Harry Kane. Last year they were pretty damn good team without a striker.
They don't have a position that they don't have there's not a star player at. I mean, you have Musiala on the attack, Harry Kane, of course, now playing the center forward for them, Kimmich in the defensive midfield, Diaye and Kim and Jae are at their center backs, Davies, Sané, Conman, even as new fans, these are neat names. That
Mueller.
Mueller, who's like, I've heard is one of the most underrated players in all of football. A player I really like, actually, is their number 2 center forward, Mathis Tell. And yeah, there's not a lot that you can say is bad about this team right now.
Yeah, no, they're a well-oiled machine. I mean, I think the only thing you can say is their form at the end of the last season wasn't the greatest. Under Tuchel, they haven't done that great. I'm pretty sure they were like, I don't know, they were like 4-4-4, something like that. Like they ended the last year not very great. Obviously, they lost the Super Cup to what was it, Leipzig? They lost to Leipzig, I think.
Yes.
So they had a chance for a trophy this year, and they already didn't get to win. And obviously, people were memeing Harry Kane about it. He barely got to play, guys. He was there for like a day, so let's chill out on that.
I think he was there. I think they literally just flew him to the stadium for the match.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like, okay, all right. It wasn't like he was ready to play in 90 minutes. But nah, I think they're gonna be better. They're gonna be better this year.
Anything outside of a top 2 finish in this group is going to be a ridiculous disappointment. But
I don't really see a way they don't get.
I don't think there's any way. Jamal Musiala dealing with the injury right now. He'll be back before the first match. And
barring injuries, of course.
Yeah,
I think that's
and even with injuries, barring 3 or 4 major injuries,
they still should be. Yeah, I mean they're going to beat Copenhagen both times.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you saw they did like a little list of like all of the teams with the what's call it, their total value, and they had the lowest of every single team, 61 million. So
wow, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then moving on, of course, to Manchester United. Calvin, who do you think is going to win this group? Do you think it's? I have a feeling you already are settled on who you think's coming out of this one.
Well, I think I don't think United's gonna win the group. I think that we're gonna get second because I think it's hard. There's pretty good chance that there might be 2 losses on the road with Galatasaray. I don't know if you know about them a little bit, but they have like the most insane fans ever.
Yeah, well,
We're
there
probably going to get to
Turkey
that when we
is.
look at them.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see some of that.
they
But
like
yeah,
lit their stadium on fire and all this stuff. Yeah,
well,
that's a hard place to play. Obviously, Bayern Munich, that's one of the best teams in the world. I think we're gonna defend Old Trafford just fine. I don't really,
so you kind of
maybe
see a 4-1-1 or a 4-2
something like that.
possibly.
Yeah, maybe two losses to Bayern, but besides that, I think we're gonna either a draw at Galatasaray and then probably a loss at Bayern. But I think we should win every other match.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so that's
so
kind of where
obviously
I
there
see it
we
going.
have Marcus Rashford. A couple key injuries at the moment for Manchester United, but
Luke Shaw's out.
yeah, Luke Shaw's
Højlund,
out. Mason
Mason
Mount
Mount.
still hasn't premiered in the Premier League for them. Holland is
He's gonna. I think he's gonna. I think Højlund's gonna be
they're
playing against
expecting him,
Arsenal.
yeah, they're expecting him back this weekend. So
That should be nice.
should be interesting to see how that goes. But overall, definitely a clear number 1 or 2 in this group. And guys, of course, if you are enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a like down there, and subscribing will be great. I'm going to probably make this series or this video into a series releases. So if you're wanting to see what we think about the next group or set of groups, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then FC Copenhagen.
Yeah, I have nothing to say here. I'm not gonna lie.
They did well. They did very well in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it was never really a contest.
right.
I don't think that they were down in the second leg once on aggregate.
Oh dang, that's nice.
So they definitely are a team that performs well above their value. But in this group,
yeah, I don't know. Where's Copenhagen? I don't even know where that is. To be honest, it's Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're led by Mohamed Osani, a Norwegian player, dual centership with Morocco. I believe he plays for Morocco's national team, actually. Yeah, not a whole lot of bright spots on here. A whole lot of, late age, once upon a time, maybe thought to be wonder kid type players who haven't really found their form and, ended up making their way back to, Scandinavia mostly is what you have going on. A lot of older Scandinavian guys. Yeah. Let's move on to Galatasaray, because I know a lot less about them, but I think the most important thing I'm looking for here at Transfer Market is their 3 most valuable players at the moment all arrived this summer for a total fee of 10 million between the 3 of them. 2 free transfers and a 10 million transfer for Icardi. I mean, this team looks fantastic on paper. Obviously, Europa is their most likely situation at the moment, but they have quite the squad. If there was, I mean, we're going to talk about biggest sleepers, of course, and I think it has to be them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in this group, I'm not sleeping on them at all. I think there is a world where they could, if they are able to defend their home ground like they normally do, that they could, maybe get second in the group. I don't think United could look at them as like a team to just kind of, not play starters against or something like that. Like we're not playing in the Carabao Cup or something like that, or the FA Cup against like, a championship team. You're playing a real team that has potential to win, and they have Wilfred Zaha. Of course, he was playing with Crystal Palace last year, so he was one of their premier players for the last couple of years. He's kind of like the main guy when I think of Crystal Palace, so it's going to be kind of weird to not see him with Crystal Palace this season. But yeah, I mean, they got a couple guys. I'm really excited to see what happens with them, and their fans are, like I was trying to say earlier, are insane. They have maybe one of the more like intimidating places to play out of every other team in the whole league, because they will literally set their own stadium on fire. So yeah.
All right. So we talked about each of the teams. Let's talk about Calvin. What is your prediction for how this group falls out?
I'd say Bayern 1, United 2, Galatasaray 3, and Copenhagen is undoubtedly going to be 4, unless they.
I think the question for Copenhagen is, do they come out with points in this group? I think if they can,
Maybe
that alone would
their
be pretty impressive.
their best case is a draw at home
Yeah,
against Galatasaray. But I don't see that happening either. So it's kind of like, yeah, they might not get a single point.
yeah. Well, and I'm right there with you. I think we're going to see Bayern United, Galatasaray, and Copenhagen. And I think the most likely thing to change, 1 through 3 are a little bit interchangeable. I could see United taking 1. I could see Bayern falling to either 2 or 3, depending on how the form is, of course.
But we know who's last.
With
We know who's
Galatasaray,
last.
you know, Galatasaray having a chance to mix it up. Just, you know, they're gonna need a couple of games against Bayern and United. You know, where maybe they get a couple lucky calls, maybe they make a couple lucky runs,
Yeah,
and they could pull out of this group. But I think more than likely they'll be in Europa.
yeah. I think they have to win every single home game to have a chance to move on.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them winning at Old Trafford or at Munich. So
No,
yeah,
I don't think that's likely at all. So, well, thanks guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, of course, and let us know what team you're most excited to watch in the UCL.
peace out, guys.